Hi, I'm AC Florrie, and this is Pax Dei, the most beautiful MMO I've ever played. The water is beautiful. The lighting is beautiful. The views are beautiful. In fact, the whole world is beautiful, but all that beauty is wasted because the gameplay is so lacking. To be fair, I've only played the last 2 months of early access, and I have no idea how much the devs will fix before the official launch on October the 16th, but there's an awful lot to fix. Starting with the whole idea behind clans. Clans are supposed to build villages and share resources, such as the higher-end manufactured materials needed to progress your crafting. Given that there are something like 16 professions and more than 33 sub-crafts in those professions, crafting was obviously designed to be a group effort. But such forced grouping only works if there are people around to cooperate. In the last 2 months of early access, I met exactly one player. There may have been other players around, but they didn't say anything in chat, and travelling around on foot is so incredibly slow. I never found any of their settlements. This problem with forced grouping also plays out in the battle system. There are only 3 weapon skills available, and they have the most ridiculous cooldowns. Let's say you're doing some foraging and get aggroed by something. You can equip your weapon quickly enough, but then you have to wait for 8 seconds before you can use any of your weapon skills. And of course, there's a cooldown after you use those skills. But wait, it gets worse. If you use a ranged weapon like a bow to pull a mob, you will then have to switch to a melee weapon to kill it because the bow is so weak. But when you switch weapons, you will have to wait another 8 seconds before the melee weapon skills become available. I assumed that in group play you'd find a way to coordinate these cooldowns. But what happens if there aren't people around to form those groups? To be honest, none of that really bothers me that much, because the only thing that drew me to Pax Dei was the building. And look at the houses you can build. But even there, Pax Dei manages to disappoint. Before I could build anything even vaguely beautiful, I had to spend almost an entire 2 months grinding all those crafts, and the grind was brutal. For example, to upgrade to a bronze wood chopping axe, you are going to need 1 short wood stock and 1 bronze axe head. The short wood stock only requires 5 sapwood, but the bronze axe head requires 5 bronze sheets and 2 bronze ingots. But each bronze sheet requires 2 bronze ingots, making a total of 12. To make bronze ingots, you will need 20 copper ore, 20 tin ore, and 100 sapwood. And each batch of 20 ingots requires 20 minutes to process. That's 20 minutes for 1 axe head. And then there's the failure rate. Unless you make items that give very little XP, you're likely to lose all those hard-won components when the crafting attempt fails. Or if it does succeed, it has no intrinsic value, so you have to throw it all away. The waste is mind-boggling. At least in other MMOs, you can deconstruct this kind of junk to get some of your mats back, or you can sell it to an NPC for a small amount of coin. but not in Pax Dei. Once you progress to a certain level, you can create market stalls to sell stuff. But even if there were any other players around, everyone is grinding the same recipes, so no one wants your junk. And last but not least, there is the actual building mechanic. It's modular and simple to use if all you want to create is a box with a roof. But if you try to create something a bit more interesting, you'll immediately hit problems because the modular components are designed to snap together, a bit like Lego blocks. There is a snap-free option, but it's primitive and often doesn't work at all. And if you make a mistake and realize that something needs to be moved, moving components isn't a thing. You have to remove the component to your inventory and then replace it. At this point, I could complain about how storage is implemented, or how confusing the UI is, or a host of other niggles, but in the end I could probably live with all of that if not for the token system. Once Pax Dei launches, builders will have to pay a token each month in order to keep their plot and whatever they've built on it. Think of it as rent. If you don't pay your rent, you get kicked out and all of your stuff is put into storage until you pay up. If you don't pay up quickly enough, everything gets deleted permanently. Given that building is the only real content in Pax Dei, tokens will become vital. So how exactly do you get them? You subscribe for them. That's how. Real dollars to keep what you put blood, sweat and tears into building. I don't know if this is normal for these kind of games, but I do know it's not normal for any of the MMOs I've played over the last 20 years. It certainly isn't normal for the Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't played ESO for 2 months, and I haven't been subbed for longer than that. But I know that when I log back in again, all my houses will be right there, waiting for me. The fact that I can't say the same for Pax Dei is the straw that broke the camel's back. I may come back to see what version 1.0 looks like, but I won't sub, and I won't build, and I won't stay. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.